So the next lesson for Fundamentals of Accounting 1 is the forms of business organization or the different types of business. So, imagine, if you want to have a business, what kind of business would it be? And if you have the opportunity, would you like it by solo or by group? So I'll be giving you 10 seconds to reflect on what kind of business do you want, what kind of ownership do you want, by solo or by group? So, suppose that you want to open your own sari-sari store. You'll be needing 10,000 pesos to start, and you use your 10,000 pesos savings to start the sari-sari store business. Which means, on this type of business, you are the sole owner of the business. So, this type of business is called sole proprietorship or single proprietorship. So, sole proprietorship is a business that is registered under the Department of Trade and Industry. So, to be a legal business, you need to register in the DTI. So, on this business, if the owner of the business die, then the business will be handed over to a new owner. So, once the owner dies, the business also dies together with him. So, once it's handed over, a new owner of the business should register it on the Department of Trade and Industry. So that's how a sole proprietorship or single proprietorship works. So, what is the idea of a sole proprietorship? So, a sole proprietorship business is a form of business owned by one person and the simplest and the most common form of business organization that do not require a boss. So, kung gusto mo mag-business at gusto mong walang boss, mag-sole proprietorship ka. It is not separate from the owner. So, pagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, the business and the owner are inseparable. Hindi mo pwedeng paghiwalayin si business. So the advantages of a sole proprietorship business is that the owner keeps all the profits, the owner makes all the decisions, it is easy to form and operate. And for the disadvantages of a business is that the life of the business is limited to the life of the owner. The funds of the business is also limited with the funds of the owner. So if you want to have a sole proprietorship, kindly take note of the advantages and the disadvantages of this type of ownership. Next, so if the needed amount to start your dream sari-sari store is about 50,000 and you only have 25,000 cash, then you ask a friend who is willing to invest 25,000 and become an owner of the sari-sari store too. So assuming that you both agrees with terms and conditions, this type of business organization is called partnership. So the partnership is registered under the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC. So on this type of business, you usually make contracts on how the profit is separated, on how you build the business, who makes the decision, and so on. So, partnership. A partnership business is a form of business owned by two or more persons. The details of the arrangement between the partners and outlined in written document called Articles of Partnership. So the contract is called the Articles of Partnership. Now, the profits are divided among partners based on their agreed sharing, which means that it is not necessary to have 50-50 sharing of profit if your contract do not tells you that it is 50-50. So, pwedeng kahit parehas kayo ng investment, pwede kayo magkaroon ng rule na hindi 50-50 sharing. Halimbawa, pwedeng si partner mo ang mamumuhunan, tapos ikaw lang ang magtatrabaho within the business. So, pwede ka mag-request ng 40% tapos kanya 60% in terms of the profit. So, pwedeng ganon. So, it depends on the contract. So, the owners of this kind of business is called partners. So, it only requires 2 until 5 members para masabing partnership si business. So, the advantages of this partnership is that you can have higher capital because 2 or more persons will contribute to the fund. Second advantage is it is also easy to operate like a sole or single proprietorship. Kasi kailangan lang may agreement within the partners and then you can make decisions. Now, the disadvantages of a partnership is that profits are divided among the partners. Since hindi mo solo si business, lahat ng iyong kikitain, hindi mo 100% ma-accommodate. So, a partner can be held liable for the acts of the owner of the other partners. So, kung magkakaso kung malugi si partner, sasagutin ng kapartner niya lahat ng atraso ng mga kapartners nila. So, in a lawsuit, the personal properties of the partners can be held beyond their contribution and may be used to answer for any liability of the partnership. So, isang disadvantage nito is kung magka-partner ang dalawang tao, tapos yung isa, papalagay natin si A. Yan. Si A and B. So, kung si A ay may nakuha sa business maraming pera, si B pwede niyang kunin yung personal properties ni A bilang pambayad. So, isang disadvantage nun is that personal items mo, personal assets mo is pwedeng kunin ng kapartner. So, a contract may be terminated death of any partner or withdrawal. So, dito naman, kapag namatay si partner mo, pwedeng tuloy si business at pwedeng mag-withdraw si business partner. Kapag namatay si owner, yung isang kapartner, namatay si A, kailangan nyo ulit ng bagong contract. The next type of business is that you assume na, bawa to, yung sari-sari store nyo naging grocery na. Kailangan nyo 1 million pesos. Pero meron ko lang 25,000. Kaibigan mo isa kaibigan mo may 25,000 din. Yung mother mo, willing mag-invest ng 50,000, pero hindi pa rin kulang. Paano ka mag-accommodate ng funds na 1 million? So, kapag ganito, you may consider setting up a corporation. Ibig sabihin, maraming namang owners si business. So, this business is called a corporation. So, a corporation is formed by the operation of law and must be registered with Securities and Exchange Commission. So, batas ang nag-declare if you are qualified under the Securities and Exchange Commission. So, dito yung mga business na pwede nating nakikita natin sa mga stock markets. So, okay, ang minimum number of members na pwedeng meron sa isang corporation is at least 5 members. At tinatawag silang mga shareholder or stockholders. So, the definition of a corporation is that the business organizes a separate legal entity or artificial persons under the corporation law with ownership divided into transferable shares of stocks. So, once na under kayo ng isang corporation, yun na, transferable naman yung ownership. So, the Corporation Code of the Philippines is the one that creates corporation. So, hindi kayo pwedeng magtayo ng operation basta-basta. So, this begins with the existence from the date of the article of incorporation is approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So, you will be starting as incorporation na hindi pa registered sa Securities and Exchange Commission hanggang maging corporation na. So, SEC din or Securities and Exchange Commission then is the government agency that is tasked to regulate private corporation in the Philippines. And the owners are called stockholders or shareholders. So, sa corporation, mababasa natin yung word na corporation, incorporation, corp, or inc na short abbreviation ng incorporation. It appears in the name of the entity. So, laging tayo ka ng business, kasama lagi yan. So, the voting rights of shareholder is generally based on the percentage of ownership. Ibig sabihin, ito na yung mga napapanood natin na 50% of the shares, 10% of the share, 5% of the shares, which creates their voting rights. So, the management of the business is delegated by the shareholders to the board of directors. So, the highest body in a corporation is the shareholder, followed by the board of directors. The proof of ownership is evident by a stock certificate. So, if you want to have or to be a stockholder, you need to have a stock certificate. So, the advantage of this corporation is that you can easily raise additional funds by selling the share of stocks to the public. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng buy and sell of the stocks. And also, shareholders are not personally liable for the debts of the corporation. The extent of their liability is limited to their equity in the corporation. So, ang kagandahan nito, unlike partnership, kung malugi man si business, hindi kailangang magbigay ka, hindi ka liable, hindi ka 100% liable na makuha yung personal assets mo. Kung ano lang yung meron ka sa corporation, yun lang ang kukunin nila sa'yo. Kasi nga madali naman silang mag-raise ng additional funds. So, disadvantage of a corporation is that it is relatively complicated to set up. Since mahirap makakuha ng investor na willing mag-take ng risk sa business, especially kapag bago ang business. Pangalawa, it is subjected to several legal restriction as listed in the Corporation Code of the Philippines. So, maraming limitations na pwedeng at maraming legal process kang dadaanan kapag gusto mong business is a corporation. Now, the last type of corporation is that it can be seen with this situation. So, assuming all the mothers in your barangay decided to open a sari-sari store where all the members can buy in cash or in credit. Some mothers were also taught how to sew dresses and bags as part of the project of the group. So these bags are then sold to a certain company. Aside from that, The organization provides seminars to the members on various topics involving mothers and their roles. So at the end of the year, the profits are distributed among the members based on their capital contribution. So this type of business organization is called cooperative. So from the word cooperation, we have cooperative. So a cooperative is a duly registered association of persons with a common bond of interest, voluntarily joining together to achieve their social, economic, and cultural needs. So the owners are called members who contributes equitably to the capital of the cooperative. So the members are expected to patronize their products and services. So the word cooperative appears in the name of the entity or the business. So this form of business organization is regulated by the Cooperative Development Authority or CDA. So it is formed in accordance with Cooperative Code. It should be registered with the CDA. So they are called members and must have 15 members or more. But the membership is not transferable. So ito yung mga naririnig natin, di ba? Yung mga kooperatiba. Yan, maraming ganyan kung saan bawat member nila ay mayroong common interest and equal yung workloads na meron sila. Tinutulungan nilang bawat isa para mag-acquire ng new skills para kumita si cooperative. So, the advantage of a cooperative is that it enjoys certain tax exemption privilege. So, pwedeng maliit ang tax na binabayaran ng cooperative. It promotes the concept of sharing resources. So, sharing is caring. But the disadvantage of the cooperative is that it has limited distribution of surplus. So, kung ang profit nyo is pagpalagay natin 100,000, yung 50,000 lang ang pwede nyo ma-share. Tapos yung 50,000, stay siya sa cooperative. Pangalawa, it requires the continuous education programs for members. So, lahat kayo, patuloy kayong mag-accommodate o mag-acquire ng new skills. Paano kung busy? Diba? Ang laking abala sa atin nun. The members must be active and direct participation in the business of the cooperative. So, kung ikaw ay isang business estudyante, di ba, hindi ka makapagbigay ng 100% time mo sa cooperative. Mahirapan ka kumita sa cooperative. So, okay, for your seat work, I want you, on your notebook, I want you to complete the forms of business organization or simply make the summary of the whole video as part of your seat work.